Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to AdriRaven and Jonathan Tanner. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Disco Elysium. A story about a broken man trying to fix a broken world, one mystery at a time. Speaking of which, we did actually manage to pull ourselves together enough to start investigating our current case. Though, obviously, it hasn't gone quite as planned. Still, we do have a good idea of what we need to do next, so let's get back to it. A heap of snow melts in this wheelbarrow. The street sign reads, "Screw the police." Lovely. Pigs Go Home. The street name is illegible. Okay then.
The RCM in Martinez? What can I help you with?
The young woman looks up at you. You sound surprised.
We don't see a lot of police around here. That's all.
I have some questions for you.
Of course. What can I help you with?
My partner told me you may have ammonia. Can I have some? Sure, I'm done with it. She takes a small capsule out of her breast pocket and hands it to you. Go easy on that stuff. It gave me a terrible headache. What is this screw the police business? Excuse me? She doesn't understand. She's uncomfortable. Maybe you should drop this line of questioning. Never mind. She shifts in her seat awkwardly. Thanks, I have to run. Of course, I won't hold you back. She wipes her brow with the canary yellow glove. Her gloves. You get the feeling that you need them. You have a dead body to deal with, after all. Oh, one more thing. Can I borrow your gloves? Sure, keep them. I have another pair. She hands you the rubber gloves with no visible annoyance. Thank you. That got us some ammonia, but it also got us some yellow gardening gloves. Thick latex gardening gloves in classic canary yellow. Maybe you should retire, take up gardening as a hobby. It's worth a thought. +1 interfacing. Very nice. Okay, before we go any further, let's make sure Kim knows what he's in for here. He seems like a nice guy. I'd really like to make this as painless as possible for him.
Yes?
Look, I think you should know that I can't remember anything. No response. He just arches his brow. I feel like I have to repeat this. I don't remember anything. There was heavy drinking involved. Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affairs? There is a sudden harsh edge to his voice, like he's tired of hearing about your personal affairs. What's wrong with personal affairs? Not a fan. It's just the nature of lieutenancy. The RCM deploys a self-styled structure called the Decomptage as its chain of command. Every lieutenant is responsible for 2 sergeants and 8 officers. That means the average lieutenant has to deal with quite a few personal affairs. Even you know this. So, what should I concentrate on? Try work. The case at hand. It can work miracles. But I'm completely lacking in basic information about even this organization we're in. Can you help me? Fine. We should get through this day first. Off hours begin at 2100. If you're still having trouble then, I can give you an orientation. I'm afraid this is a medical situation. Really? The lieutenant gives you a look, thorough as if performing triage. You look fine to me. I'm talking serious, unbelievable damage here. I saw myself in the mirror and had no idea who I was. This psychodrama is unbecoming of an officer. It's not psychological. Some sort of major brain damage has occurred, on an unprecedented scale. Then you should consider seeking medical attention. You can use the radio in Mykonema to call your station's Lazarus. Was there anything else you wanted? Yeah. Tell me about the case. What do you want to know? Literally anything about it. I can't remember a single thing. Maybe you can tell me what you do know, to help me narrow it down a bit. I know literally nothing about it, only what you told me before. Do you want me to brief you? Brief, yeah, that sounds good. 3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company, Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute. Wait, does the briefing say who the victim was? A security guard or worker of some sort, hired by Wild Pines. This was just hearsay from Martinez, of course. We need to find out the truth. Why didn't we know anything about the caller? They didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was muffled using a device of some sort. The desk could identify neither the caller's age nor sex. Why hide themselves? There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dockworkers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now, it appears they've started executing, too. We cannot allow that. Hold on. And the RCM is... That's us. The Revachol Citizens Militia. We're the police in this city. The RCM, or the Revachol Citizens Militia, is the police force you and him are part of. A self-organized peace corps of the occupied city of Revachol, the RCM operates within a legal twilight, yet its authority is rarely questioned. It's super useful to know this. Let me just make this perfectly clear. Our job here is to find the killer. That's right. Would you say this is a mysterious case? The lieutenant considers your question for a moment before answering. No, it's not a particularly mysterious case. Why not? The lieutenant shrugs. The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. I just don't see the case getting more mysterious than that. I was thinking something otherworldly might be involved. You know, something supernatural. I can assure nothing like that will happen. Do you know why not? Are you sure? I think something is already happening. No, something isn't happening, because it's not part of reality. He makes a precise hand gesture. The gesture resembles an orchestra conductor, bringing the choir to a full stop. So desperately mundane. You need to funk this case up. There's something the lieutenant isn't seeing. The universe is too irrational, too morally complex. You should convince him. Wait, if we're from different precincts, why are we on the same case? I'm afraid you and I are pawns in a... He considers the phrasing. A pissing competition. What do you mean? You don't know. His eyes narrow. I assumed you were in on it. I don't remember being in on anything. That's good. You know what I'm in on. Retrograde amnesia. Better still than an imbecilic cop-off. Cop-off? It's just stupidity. We shouldn't waste any more time on it. If you want my take, ask me after we've inspected the victim. You should tell me now. This seems relevant. Later. His voice is unflinching. Was there anything else you wanted to know about the case? No. I think I have everything I need for now. Looks like we now have the option to try to convince Kim that there is in fact a sexy dark mystery at the center of our case. We'll keep that in mind once we bumped our inland empire up a couple of points. For now, though, let's grab some tools and get back to that body. Before you stands a motor carriage. The bodywork is covered in blue and white livery, bearing the number 57. Vapor emanates from the large engine on the back of the vehicle. It hasn't had time to cool off yet. This must be the infernal machine that tore you from oblivion. In the cabin, you are welcomed by a set of steering levers, a radio microphone on a hook, a pull-out toolbox under the seat, and the soft glow of a fuel preheater gauge. Kim, what are we looking at? What is this machine? This is the Kupri Kanima, my motor carriage. You can use the toolbox and the radio if you'd like. He nods at the cabin. Motor carriage. Something bad about a motor carriage. A dark lump rises in your throat. What is this sinking feeling I have with the words, motor carriage? Nothing. It's probably nothing. Forget I brought it up. Please proceed with the carefree lollygagging. Yeah, consider me reassured. Do all policemen in the RCM have such cool motor carriages? The Kupri Motor Corps does provide most of our patrol vehicles, yes. But this is different. This is a sports model. I might be wrong, but this one is a sports model, right? You're right. A vainglorious smile spreads over his face as he pats the machine. I didn't take you for a motor car enthusiast. Do you also like tip-top, Detective? What's tip-top? An Intersolary racing series. You should definitely give it a go if you like motor carriages. It has fantastic competition. He smiles again. This must be what woke me up when you arrived in Martinez. The infernal noise. Yes, sorry about that. The Kupri Kanima does have a rather distinctive engine sound. He says it with very badly concealed pride. Can we turn it on and drive somewhere? No, I'm afraid not. He straightens his spine. We have a murder case on our hands, remember? Right. Fair enough. Okay, let's grab those tools. A metallic drawer slides out from under the seat and clicks into place. The tools inside are neatly organized. Take what you need, officer. It's going to be a long case. I'm not protective of my tools, like some men are. He's clearly a little protective of his tools, but what can you do? Work is work. The pry bar feels nice and cold in your hand, heavier than you'd think. Useful for opening all sorts of doors and lids. The handles are long and sleek. Snap, snap, go the cutters in your hand. You can do good work with these. Cut chains, locks, and ropes, especially belts. The flashlight is robust, weatherproof, and well-made. Police issue, blue. Lets you see things in the dark you would otherwise miss. The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. The preheater gauge casts a warm glow on the steering levers and the radio on its hook. Alright, I think that's enough of that for now. Like Kim said, we do still have a murder to investigate. Though I was really hoping we'd have a level up by now. Well, let's see if we can make do with what we've got. There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now. Oof, those numbers still aren't in our favor, but here we go. Yeah, that seems about right. The ammonia only makes it worse. The combination forces tears out of your ducts. You manage to keep it in once. The second time, not so much. When the vomiting is done, your cheeks are wet with tears. The ammonia didn't help at all. Nor does the wind right now. You feel the lieutenant pat on your back rhythmically. The weight is reassuring, like a krenel on solid fortification. Pat, pat, pat. I've seen strong men turn themselves inside out for hours. You're facing tough odds here. Alcohol withdrawal makes it considerably harder. Why can't I keep it in if I've been a cop my whole life? I've seen captains puke their guts out. It never gets easier. You never get used to the smell. Every Monday is cadaver day. Throw up, investigate. Throw up, initial autopsy. Throw up, bag it. He pats on your back again. Then, drive to station. Maybe throw up on the way there if you didn't bag the thing tight enough. But you seem fine. I think I've lost my sense of smell. There's a pause. Not being hungover helps too. Can't we go do something else? I think I want to solve something else now. That's probably a good idea. Clear our heads. But before we can do that, he withdraws his hand from your back and looks you in the eye. You need to get your shit together. Okay. We should go talk to the locals, find something else to do while the wind changes. It's pretty bad right now. Give it half an hour, get yourself together, then come back and have another go. Well, we may have failed again, but at least we got a new thought out of it. Volumetric shit compressor. Your shit is apart, and it's rather unbecoming of a cop and a human being. It's supposed to be the opposite of that. Together, compressed in a small area. To achieve a solid level of shit compression, squeeze your butt cheeks together for 30 minutes. Do something similar with the two hemispheres of your brain. Talk to people. Maybe that will help. Lovely. Oh, and we never did read Lonesome Long Way Home, so let's have a look at that one, too. Let's rewind. Let's trace your drunken steps back home. Jump across the raised channel bridge southwest of here. Fall over. Get up. Get off the asphalt in 20 minutes. Shuffle your feet through courtyards, scaring little children. Go under the great raised motor tract, the 881, until you reach La Domaine Eminent in North Jamrock. The streets are frozen this time of year, caked with ice. Walk down Main to Perdition. There's a side alley there and your footprints in the mud. Interesting. Though it does make it sound like our house is beyond the borders of the actual play area. I guess we'll know for certain once we finish internalizing it. Anyway, we've got 30 minutes to kill, so let's have a look around the crime scene. Okay, looks like we've got a container and multiple points of interest. We've also got all those footprints, but those are outlined in yellow, so I don't want to mess with those just yet. Yellow indicates that it's some sort of sensory challenge. We'll want to boost our perception and visual calculus first. This winch mechanism has been oxidizing for some years. An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite. What is this? It's nothing. Someone just left some roofing material slanted against an old shack. Why am I looking at this pile of roofing material? Because it's nice and orderly. Well-laid palette. Easy on the eyes. Rhythmic pattern calms your mind. Mammals like this stuff. No, there's more to this. You get this strange feeling. What feeling? Hard to say. It's gone now. Feelings pass, you see. Especially the small ones. Okay, well, we failed that check, but that's fine. Like I said, we want to boost perception anyway. Once we do, we can try that again. Someone is trying to grow herbs in this greenhouse. This kid's ladder is rickety, but still climbable. The ladder's for kids. It wouldn't hold the weight of a grown man. The letter R wears a crown. On the ribbon below, a light above descending. This is the logo of the municipality of Revachol. This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says whirling in rags. There's something in there. Not necessarily connected to the case, but still. Why am I looking at you, trash container? You're just a trash container. The body is downwind from here. Maybe you prefer the smell of garbage to the smell of death. Lieutenant, what do you think could be in there? Trash? Food waste from the cafeteria? They lock these containers to keep the derelicts from flocking in. Could be evidence, too. Yeah, I feel like there's something in there. What do you mean, feel? It's extrasensory perception. Whatever is in there holds a special significance. I agree. We should get someone from the Remote Viewers Division here. What is the Remote Viewers Division? All the detectives from all the precincts who experience extrasensory perception go to the Remote Viewers Division. Their work is invaluable to the Force. What kind of extranatural abilities do they possess? None, because they don't exist. I'm so disappointed right now. I thought there was a Remote Viewers Division. There isn't, but we should still access this container. How do we get the lock open? We could try using a pry bar, the one you took from my motor carriage. Or, Lieutenant? Or we could ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He probably has one. Alright, well, I think it's pretty safe to say we're not going to be forcing this thing open. Besides, we should at least try to get that key from Gart before we start destroying more of his property. We are past the 30-minute mark, though, so let's save that for next time. Don't worry, we'll get this body down eventually. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Disco Elysium, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official YouTube channel, the official Facebook page, the official Twitter feed, or the official store page over on Steam. Links are in the description.